What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul,
And Dave.
bringing you the latest on Survivor Ghost Island, which just premiered tonight. And oh my god, it was honestly, this was like an incredible premiere. A lot of gameplay happening extremely early on. Looks like I'm glad that we have a season where people are coming out to play. You know, we got a lot of fans out there this season playing, and the twist. There's been so many twists already. So many throwbacks to previous seasons. Like I'm excited, Dave. How are you feeling?
I'm still just taking it all in. As you could tell, I probably literally just finished the episode.
Yeah, I literally just he literally finished about a minute ago on while we were on chat. So good stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and start breaking this down. So first of all, if you guys didn't see our cast analysis, I'm gonna have it linked down below after the video. I don't have a link there right now, but I will after the video. So we start off right off the bat with our two tribes, and right away they have to pick. They get on the island. And Jeff makes them pick a leader. Let's say.
That's exactly what it is, a leader.
Yeah, and basically both tribes end up picking like a big, strong, buff guy. What was your thought process there?
I remember from the cast analysis saying that the gym teacher was going to be a leader, and I didn't think he'd become a leader that quickly.
I mean, that's exactly what he did, though. I mean, It was pretty incredible. Yeah, so Brendan and Chris were both picked as the leader for their respective tribes. And then they had to oh, by the way, guys, if any of you are watching live, be sure to talk in chat. Let us know what you thought of the episode, thought of the premiere. Have any questions for us? Maybe you want to know who our favorite player is right now. I'm loving Stephanie. Like she's fucking great. All right, but anyway, back to the episode. So the two leaders had to pick on their tribe someone that they thought was physical and someone that they thought was good at puzzles just based on appearance alone. And this was rather interesting to me. So the Malolo tribe picks Mike and Laurel. Mike is a big physical guy and Laurel as like the puzzle maker. What were your thoughts on those picks?
My thought was like this was kind of like an interesting social, like the whole picking of people based on appearances was like an interesting social thing because it's like, okay, our leaders are big strong guys, and then when it comes to the puzzles, it's like, okay, you pick a big strong guy for the puzzle, and then you pick the more nerdy looking person for the puzzle, I guess.
Yeah, just based on like,
It just
well, go
it
ahead.
just shows like kind of like where society is, and I don't know. I came out of college where I had to study this crap, so.
Based on like
But
the cast analysis we did, though, I thought that Laurel was actually a very good pick.
again, like I wasn't. Yeah, forgive me for anyone watching because like I'm gonna like mess up their names a bit here because I'm still learning it because it's 20 something people. But yeah, Laurel, I remember whatever her occupation was and whatever we talked about her from the cast analysis, I remember her face and I was like, yeah, I remember like she would be a good pick for this.
Yeah, she was my pick to win, so I definitely know Laurel. Also, Jacob was my pick to win, and we all know what happened there. But oh well, I'm still rooting for Laurel. So yeah, Laurel ended up being a good pick for the puzzle, and then Chris has to pick his physical guy and his puzzle maker, and he picks Sebastian, who's like the big surfer guy, whatever. And then when he picks Desiree. And Desiree immediately says in like a confessional, "Oh, why did he pick me? I'm not good at puzzles at all. I guess because I look creative because of my blonde hair." I was like, okay. I mean, I guess things weren't looking too good for the Navidi tribe right off the bat there.
Oh no.
But when the challenge starts, I see some people in the chat. I am loving Granny Peg says, I am loving this new season. The two guys picked as leaders are going to go a long way, I think. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I tend to agree with you there. I mean, they look to be in good positions right now. Although, spoiler alert, I don't know if you guys saw the scene for the next episode. It looks like we might be getting a tribe swap soon, which is expected when a 20-person season. But you never know. Patty says, what's up? Go ahead.
Oh, what's up, Patty? But no, just in general about the leaders, I mean, like they are definitely in good position. Both of them are in good positions right now, but it's rare when you see the leaders win. Like they're gonna like
Absolutely.
they're most likely gonna be targeted again pretty soon.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you there.
So
Patty says her winner pick is Dominic first or Wendell for my second. I'm loving Dominic. Like he's pretty great. All right, but first off, let's get back to the episode. So Sebastian and Mike just go flooring out there like like there's no tomorrow. They're just so quick through the challenge for like the first two runs. And then you see Mike kind of mess up a little bit on when he's coming back from the second run, and Sebastian gets a little bit ahead of him, and then by the third run they're both just exhausted. Mike has to struggle just to get past the obstacle course with the third key.
wasn't one of them like practically crawling at that point?
Yeah. Mike was basically crawling at that point. It was like, okay, I mean, that's why you don't go so hard. Like you have to be even paced with this. Like they're both excited, like energetic, and really want to get started, but you can't waste so much energy just on the first challenge because you got to get winded down like that. If they kept a steady pace, I feel like it would have been okay. But yeah, I mean, Mike's team won anyway, so I guess it really didn't matter. So let's get to the puzzle. This was where the interesting twist lied, and I'm going to see if I can even explain this in like less than 30 seconds. Okay, so each tribe is going to be starting off with a different amount, starting off with the same equipment. The winner of this challenge would get what do they get, Dave? I forgot.
I think they got like eggs and stuff, like 20 eggs and something. And
No, wait, no. It was
the winner of the challenge got like 20 eggs and flint and no and
Hold on, I
I
have it
think
written down. They
yeah
have they had like the building kit.
yeah that too.
Okay, it was the building kit if you won, and then if the other team lost, they lose the fishing gear. But if your tribe surrendered, you got to keep the fishing gear, but the tribe you surrendered to got the building equipment plus 20 eggs and the flint. So it was really mind-boggling stuff there. It was like way too much to think about in like
Yeah,
the first challenge.
yeah, it was like an easy way for production to be like, okay, we're gonna start drama right now.
Granny Peg says Dominic is slick, reminds me of shades of Boston Rob. I'm hoping we do see a little of Boston Rob in him. I'm really am hoping, although it looks like was it Chris that wasn't trusting him? I mean, I don't know. We'll get to it when we get to it. Um, but Laurel and Desiree are both racing for the puzzle, and at some point, Chris makes the executive decision to surrender because it didn't look like, to me at least on the screen, it didn't look like Desiree was making a lot of progress, and I'm not sure if Laurel was either. They didn't show her too much towards the end, but she looked like she was making a little progress in the middle. So when before the sand ran out, they surrendered for the Navini tribe.
It was the smarter choice, honestly. I mean, from the editing and what we saw the puzzles, they didn't look like they were gonna win it.
Patty says Chris is a douche. We'll get to it. Anyway. All right. Anyway, that's funny. Yeah. So anyway, Malolo wins, and they win the 20 eggs, the building equipment, the flint. So they're getting everything off the bat here. And I'm thinking, okay, this tribe has a massive advantage. But normally, sometimes what happens with a tribe that has advantage, they tend to lose it really quick,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what happens this episode. So, was there anyone right off the bat, Dave, when they were opening up with both of the tribes, when they were building camp, that stuck out to you? I mean, they only showed a few people, but
I mean, Jacob stuck out to me a little bit, but just mostly because your cast analysis, I was kind of like looking for him a little bit. Obviously, Chris and everyone who like played in like the two leaders of the challenges obviously stuck out to me. Donathan stuck out to me a bit. But again, I'm
Yeah.
just going mostly based off the cast analysis. I mean, the problem with the earlier episodes, like, we don't get enough screen time of everybody. So, like, whoever stands out to you is just going to be whoever's been shown to you more.
And this is something I actually forgot towards the second half of the episode, but I'm glad I rewrote down in my notes that Mike, the guy who did the physical part of the challenge, he's only 18 years old.
Yeah, that I remember, and then he brought that back up again too. And again, he was another one I remember from the cast analysis saying that, and I think that's interesting that he lied and he said he was 21 or 23.
He said he was 23 years old, and I think he can pull it off. He definitely, I mean, he has a fit body. So I say between the ages of like 18 and 25, males don't really change that much. I would more argue 21 and like 27, but with him, he can pull off
Anyway,
23.
and not even that, but it's like you're on Survivor. You're not really expecting someone that young.
Right, exactly. It's like when Danielle Donato lied about her age in Big Brother 8 many years ago. Like no one really cared.
I remember my first season.
So Jonathan, he talks to Laurel, gets like a good vibe from her. They're talking. He says that he's a country boy, Eastern Kentucky. Um, yeah, I mean, he's just happy to be there in Survivor with like this mixed group of people, and you know, it's really I'm happy to see like someone just genuinely excited to be there.
I feel like he's excited because he just doesn't think he'll survive. But I'm also just saying that because this episode painted him in that light.
Right. You know, episode 1, like Survivor wise, he's the survivor. This episode.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, he is. I mean, he survived the first vote and the second challenge. He did pretty well. Granny Peg says, "I did not see a lot of the gals yet. Some are very sharp and waiting to strike." I agree. They didn't show a lot of the girls.
This was a very male centric. I think this was a very male centric episode because we started off with the male leaders and then following their plights through the episode.
I am excited to see what Morgan has for us because she did get the legacy advantage from Jacob. So I'm really excited to see what she does with it because it looked like she was like strategizing, like, oh, we put Jacob there for a reason because he was weak. So it looks like she has the strategy portion down, so she gets that. But again, we will get to it. A lot of things we're getting to early, which we'll talk about again later. All right, so going to the Navidi tribe. So Dominic, he's talking to the tribe. He says he's made some bad decisions in life. Says he used to do a lot of drinking, gambling. Says he used to weigh a little over 250 pounds, so he lost a lot of weight. But he turned it around for his kids. So already we have a little bit of a story opening up with Dominic. It's not like a flash story yet. It's not like one of those hedged out ones. But what do you think? You think this is something that could potentially be something?
I mean, again, you and I, a lot of what I'm going to go on in this first episode is the cast analysis. And what you and I discussed when we were making it is how he's kind of like the guy who's the villain. He's someone who looks like he could become the villain later on. I can't say too much of this episode painted. Like, I'd say he's in a neutral light. Like, he could be the villain, he could be the good one, because he's kind of like played both sides a little bit in this episode. We're kind of seeing to get on people's nerves. Then he's like, I need to turn this around and make some allies here. But at the same time, he could be, again, coming off last season, he kind of reminds me of Joe a little bit, but not as crazy yet.
I don't know. He did make a fake idol in the first episode, but then again, we had 2 fake idols in the first episode.
Well, I mean, he made a fake idol, yes, but I mean, like, he's not like like, it was strategic, but his personality isn't as confrontational
right.
yet.
He's not abrasive.
Not, again, I'm saying yet a lot here because I'm expecting him to be. Just something about him seems like he's either going to go one way or the other. I don't think he has a middle ground.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll see him swing like a pendulum, is what you're saying, throughout the season.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he'll swing like a pendulum, like crazy, or he's just gonna stay one side.
That's a fair assessment. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
One more thing. Sebastian and Chris. Well, first off, Dominic, after the challenge, when Jeff asked, would you do anything different? Dominic raised his hand and said, yeah, I would have done something different. So when they get back to camp, Chris and Sebastian are both going after Dominic at this point. I don't know. Things aren't looking too hot.
I mean, the choice to go up to Dominic obviously isn't the better choice because Dominic finds the idol in this episode. But point being, it's like, well, we need a target. So can we team up and target somebody? Because they, again, like I don't know all their names. Like they're 3 days in, they hardly know each other's names and who everybody is.
Yeah.
So it's still too, like, just for us and for them, it's too early to assess. So it's like, who can I point a finger on that everyone else might point with me?
That's fair. That's fair. I want to talk a little bit about Wendell. He vibed well with Dominic, and Sebastian. It was Sebastian, right?
Yes.
Yes.
No. Yeah. What's it,
Yeah,
Sebastian?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sebastian went up to Wendell and he's like, "Listen, if we worst case scenario, if we lose the first challenge, we can vote Dominic off." And Wendell, like, balls to the wall. He's basically just like, "Yeah, I don't really think so. Well, let's think about something else." Like, he just flat out says it. "Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe someone else." I was like, "Wow, this guy's got balls." And then he goes off in the ocean and tells Dominic and one of the other guys. I don't know the other guy's name because they didn't really show a confessional with him today. But so Dominic now knows that Chris and Sebastian are coming after him.
Yeah. That was kind of like unexpected, but I'm like, wow, okay, like you're just gonna start this on early.
Granny Peg says Jonathan already has a huge group wanting him to stay. He does. I mean, we know at least 3, like, right off the bat. Plus, he has his idol, which we'll get to after the first vote. I mean, he's in a really good position right now.
Did you say Jonathan has his idol?
No, Dominic.
Oh, Dominic. I'm sorry. I thought you said Jonathan. I was like, what the hell did I miss?
That's the wrong tribe. All right, let's get to this first challenge, first immunity challenge of this season. Let's see. I wrote down, just like last season, I wrote down the whatever. So they raced across a neck bridge. They worked together to get 2 bags of rope. They used the rope to pull a sled filled with giant puzzle pieces, which they used to build a giant puzzle cube. I thought this challenge was interesting and really incorporated, like, the tribe mentality of having to work together, everyone pulling the rope at once with the sleigh and the puzzle pieces. Thoughts?
It's a challenge. My opinion on the challenges are like, whatever. I care about more the outcome and like how people react during them.
That's fair. Patty says
yeah.
that the guy in the water with Dominic and with Dominic at the time was Bradley.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was Wendell, Dominic, and Bradley in the water at the time. Okay, good to know.
We'll see if they cut to like a flashback of this and like Bradley's like that secretive player, like, hey, I've known this all along.
And then he tells Chris. Ooh.
Yeah.
Never know. So what really ends up happening is Navidi wins immunity. Simple. Then they get to send someone. This is when, like, the episode started getting really, really interesting to me. Because I remember Dave messaged me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm at the immunity challenge. This episode's kind of boring so far." And I'm just like, 30 minutes ahead of him, and I know how much stuff went down in those 30 minutes. So I'm just like, oh.
I will admit the initial challenge was interesting, but like, it wasn't. It was just interesting on its own. It didn't carry the episode as much as I wanted it to.
Not as much as this next thing does.
Oh, yeah.
So Jacob, so Jeff asked Jacob some whatever question, and Jacob basically says that his tribe is the best tribe ever. It's the greatest. And I was like, I don't know why he's being like so bombastic about this.
This super fan is just on a Survivor high right now. He's like, you know what it kind of reminds me of? And again, again, this is a reality room podcast. We cover all kinds of reality TV, so I'm just gonna freaking say it. He reminds me of Cameron from Big Brother last season, where he's like, Cameron came in and he was like, we said he had the mentality of someone who won the show twice just because they watched it, and that's the whole thing I got with Jacob. He's this like, look, I am a super fan. I've watched it since I was 4 years old. I know this game inside out. The problem that I'm seeing with super fans between all these shows as of late is that because I'm a super fan, I'm gonna do good. And they get cocky about it as opposed to getting smart about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It's the same thing we saw like with Celebrity Big Brother with Shannon. She's a super fan who played the game too hard, and this is exactly what Jacob's doing.
okay, remember this is Survivor.
I know
I
this is
mean,
also a reality podcast, but I'm just saying I'm just going based off the recent ones I've seen because last season of
okay,
Survivor we didn't see any
got it.
super fans do anything.
Okay, Survivor reference. It's very reminiscent of Cochran back during his first season. Like, you know, he was like a weak guy. He was a super fan, but he had to adapt, and he did adapt. And because he adapted during his first season, he made it relatively far. Eventually, you know, making a questionable tribe switch move, switching his loyalty, which maybe got him further, maybe didn't. But then when he came back for this next season, you know, he ended up winning. So, you know, he's the kind of person that grew. We didn't really, if Jacob stayed, we probably would have seen growth, and that's what we like to see in these super fans. But you know, it just, I mean, I'm talking about Jacob's vote already. He hasn't even left yet. Okay, anyway, so Jacob's being.
The point is, he was just like he stood out too much, and like the other thing he even said, like whenever they sent in the ghost out, then he's just like, this is all part of my plan. I'm like, was it really part of your plan, or are you just saying this to make yourself sound cool?
No, I think it was part of his plan. The problem was him telling everyone it was part of his plan. That was a mistake.
I think he should have kept his mouth shut there and just been the confessional, like, hey, that was all part of my plan. Okay, fine. But
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I agree with you. Like, whenever he said that, he just seemed like his whole tribe and everyone just seemed like, okay, so this guy is smart and he's making things happen.
Right. Plus, he was looking for an idol back on the island, so not a good start for Jacob. That was a rookie mistake. Go ahead.
It just blows my mind the mistakes that he's made for someone who's watched the show since he was 4.
I mean, I kind of understand the mentality because it's like when you watch it on TV, it's so everything goes so quick. But when you're actually playing the game and it's like day 2 and you're like, oh, it seems like it's been a long time. Let me start looking for an idol. When in reality, you don't really want to do that unless, first off, you don't tell people you're fucking exploring. So stupid.
Good point.
Granny Peg says Jacob lost his dang shoes from the start in the ocean. Yeah, we should have known. We should have known then. He was a little bombastic, neurotic.
You know, like, never mind. Actually, I'll just say it at this point. Whenever we made the cast analysis video, and you said that he was your pick to win, I was just trusting you because you know a lot more about Survivor than me. But in my head, I was like, how is this kid like? Everything about this kid just seems like completely off to me.
Well, he reminded me of Cochran, that's why. And you know, I thought he could pull the super fan move, and you know, I thought he might have been like a charmer, like geeky charm, and he does have some geeky charm, I will admit, but he wasn't able to use it. He made too many big moves early on. It just really didn't pan out.
Way too cocky. Way too cocky.
I'm not even sure if it was cockiness. I think he was definitely cocky during the second vote. Anyway, let's get to the Ghost Island. Because yes. They just yeah, let's just talk about it. Legacy advantage. So let's go through the motion. Jacob goes there, sees the big sign, opens the urn, goes up, finds a key, opens the chest, and finds a legacy advantage. Now, for all of you guys who remember, back when it was me and Nate at the time covering I forget what the season was called now. Game Changers, Survivor Game Changers. And when Sierra told Sarah about her legacy advantage, and then Sarah voted Sierra out of the game, and then Sierra willed the legacy advantage to Sarah, and a crazy move. Beautiful. So that advantage is back, and Jacob has the opportunity to undo the curse, and by willing it to a member of the other tribe. And he chooses Morgan. Thoughts on the pick?
It's like last season when Ryan chose Chrissy for that. It was just like he doesn't know her. We don't know her. Just too early.
True. Worked out with Ryan. Could potentially work out with Stephanie and Morgan. I mean, we are getting a tribe switch soon, so if they're on the same tribe, then they might work together. Just a thought. Granny Peg says Jacob was overexcited to play, that he just could not fit in and overplayed. Yeah, he wasn't really meshing well with the tribe.
I 100% agree with that.
And he was saying like all these things like, oh, we're the greatest tribe ever. We're like one big unit, but he wasn't part of that unit.
Once he said we're the greatest tribe ever, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, could you have at least said that if you perfectly won the game? Like, at least then I'd be happier.
Yeah, I mean, you say like after a win or two, you don't say it like, oh, well, we just lost. All right, let's get back to the Navidi tribe.
How old was he again? Like 20?
He's upper 20s, I think.
Oh my god.
He was the music teacher guy. Right, he was the guy that had to teach himself like social skills.
Yeah,
I believe that was him.
Yeah, I think yeah. He needs to learn more.
No, I mean, I think he was fine. I think he was just overexcited. It's like what Granny Peg said.
We'll just keep trying to move through this because I'm just like mind blown how someone could make this many mistakes.
All right,
call themselves a super fan.
Navidi tribe. Dominic, he's feeling a little worried about the Chris and Sebastian thing, so he wakes up in the middle of the night, goes searching for an idol in the dark, and he finds it in the dark. I was like, what the hell? This is like Russell Head style. He was just like rushing out. It's like, okay, it's nighttime. I'm just gonna look for the idol because I can't do it during the daytime. Start searching trees for like an hour. Oh, I found the idol. Sweet.
Now here's something I want to point out, and I want to know how long was he watching them sleep before he decided to go get the idol? Because for like a good minute or so, the camera's just on him watching his teammates sleep, and it just looks so disturbing.
Well, I mean, he probably just can't sleep. He's anxious because of the Chris and Sebastian thing, and he's just making sure that nobody's up before he starts going. And plus, he has to alert the camera guys, like, "Hey, listen, I'm getting up and I'm going to start searching."
See, do you think the camera guys like they all sleep at the same time, or they have like one camera guy at least on rotation at all times?
What I think they do is he can leave on his own time. Even without the camera crew, and then the camera crew can come later and they can just reshoot the shot.
Which it wouldn't shock me if that happened with the idol, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was looking at this, I'm like, this seems reshot.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been reshot or it could have been right there live. I mean, who really knows? All we know is he got the idol, and very cool, honestly. And, it's like when Joe got it last time. I mean, it's like the same thing.
It's when Joe got it last time, and then it's when Ben got, like, what, 3 of them, like, in a row?
Ben Russell Hands did last season. All right, anyway, so Dominic finds the idol in the dark. I wrote down Andrea's Alliance. Don't know what that means. You know what that means?
Your notes.
Oh, right. The idol was from season 26. I think, was it 26 or 24? It was the one with Boston. No, wait, no. It was the one with, okay. It was season 26 with Andrea Um, Finding the idol with Eric. I remember Eric finds it and then just gives it to Andrea. Like, what the hell, Eric? And then Andrea gets voted out with the idol in her pocket. I think Cochran was part of that move. A lot of Cochran this episode. All right. Anyway, so yeah, and then that's the idol, and he gets the chance to undo Andrea's mistake. Cool. Cool. So then Dominic kind of talks to Chris, and he's like, "Hey, listen, man, we started off on the wrong foot." And what else happened with that, Dave?
Well, eventually, like that was a. I'm sorry, but this is talking about Dominic and Chris.
Yeah, Dominic and Chris kind of
Yeah, there's
talking.
yeah, like Chris is kind of like all right, accepting his like apology or whatever you want to say, like hey, like let's get along speech. But he basically says like okay, like I can't work with you unless you have an idol because he's kind of suspicious that he has an idol. So he decides to make a fake idol, wrap it up with the real idol paper, and show him, hey, I have an idol. Chris is like, oh wow, to the point that he just looks at the paper and doesn't even check the fact that to look at the idol at all. Which not for nothing, if it's wrapped up in that paper, you're gonna believe whatever that is in that paper is an idol.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but Chris also says something in his gut is telling him not to trust Dominic. He's right on the money there.
Yeah, I don't blame him. But I mean, the point is he knows Dominic has an idol now, so
Right, and Dominic made the fake one. It was interesting. And then let's go back to the Malolo tribe, where Jacob is just about to leave Ghost Island. He also makes a fake idol. His looks a lot more believable than Dominic's does. Actually, his looks really good. I wouldn't be surprised
that's what's
to get it
funny
back
though is
home.
like I wonder if Dominic wanted his idol to be known as fake. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know what his plan was.
I just thought it was interesting because he could have just said at that point I have an idol, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Because if you have the paper, you have the idol. It's stupid. Dominic, I don't know what move you're pulling there. So going forward, there must be unused idols and other game advantages will come from Ghost Island. How many never used? I mean, we're gonna see both of James's idols for sure because they put that in like the ad a million times. It's crazy. But we don't even know if it's going to come into play because it has to do with the urn and then like the game that they have to play. So I guess we'll find out. So Jacob comes back to camp with his idol, fake idol, and what happens with that conversation, Dave?
Pretty much just Jacob, yeah. What's funny about it is that everyone's like surrounded, like okay, like hey, here's what it is about Ghost Island, and then he tells them all this and that about the idol that he got, but then I'm sorry, the gym teacher, the
Gym
gym teacher's
teacher.
name. No, like I was hoping that you would fill in the name.
Was that
All right.
Brendan?
So the gym teacher is the one who's suspicious of the whole idol thing because he says like, "Oh, where's the paper? Oh, I left it over there." So you mean to tell me that this Survivor superfan nerd tells this elaborate story but forgets the paper on Ghost Island? So immediately from there, he's like, "It's probably a fake idol. Let's vote him out." But in case he does have an idol, we could do something else later.
Yeah, so he's basically saying split the votes.
Yeah, I think I jumped ahead there too much, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's basically what he said. He says if it is a real idol, then he has the sole vote. If we all vote for him, so he's basically just planting that seed there. Let's get to the next immunity challenge. I don't think I wrote the stuff down for this. Yeah, I didn't. You had to swim down, open the thing for the buoys, swim back to shore, and then once all the buoys were up, someone had to collect the buoys. Easy peasy. And then you
Yeah,
had to shoot them.
I mean, so it was mostly easy, but what was like not easy, but you know what I mean. just easy to understand the concept. But what was funny with it was Donathan, about how he had to like dive in and release all the buoys and kind of struggling a little bit. Then he finally dives all the way in, he gets it. But what I thought was hysterical was even Jeff was cheering him on. You could do it, Donathan. I don't know. I thought that was funny.
It was very reminiscent of I forgot what challenge it was, but it was during Game Changers with Suri. Like Suri, it was an individual. I think it was no. It was a tribe challenge, and Suri just had to make it like to the end of the challenge, and like the tribe already lost, but Suri just was just going across like the balance beam or something, and she didn't want to leave until she finished, and she did, and she did it. So it was very reminiscent of that. So Donathan conquered his fear. Although I will say that if Donathan, didn't like say a million times, no, I don't think I can do it for like 5 minutes, I think they might have had a better shot. Like if we just said, oh, you think I can, like right off the bat, and just went to do it, it would have been better, because James was having a lot of trouble there.
Still won though.
No, they lost.
I'm sorry. You said James. I got confused. Okay.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. My bad. No, because I remember James apologizing like 20 times.
Yep. So the winner of that got immunity and comfort, and Navidi won again. So Malolo goes back to vote someone out.
And Donathan got sent to Ghost Island.
Yeah, so after that great moment with Donathan, he gets him to Ghost Island, and he opens up his urn, and there's nothing there. Boo hoo! Sorry, Donathan. Oh well. Yeah, it is what it is. I wonder if you have to open them in order, or if you can just like choose whichever urn you want.
We'll find that out in the coming days.
Yes, so we did get cheered on. I think it was swim from one deck to another. Yeah, sounds about right to me. Yeah, so let's talk about the vote. So how did things start developing when they got back with Jacob?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying with the split vote. What they were trying to do is basically say like, okay, look, we should vote for Jacob because if he's got an idol, we all think it's fake. Okay, like the whole no one forgets, you don't forget the paper. The second thing was that James was over there apologizing for messing up the challenge. Everyone was kind of like, no one really seemed to be too mad at him, again, because the focus was way too much on Jacob. But they said, like, look, we'll split the votes down with James just in case. And I believe it was Stephanie who Jacob told the truth to, and she was considering trying to save him.
Yes, Stephanie was an interesting player this episode. So also with the first vote, she was the one that wanted to get. I don't think, did we even talk about the first tribal council with Gonzalez and Donathan? I don't even think we did.
We just totally skipped over that because, again, like we kind of said earlier in the podcast, the later half of the episode got a lot better.
Okay, yeah, let's talk. Well, let's talk about that, and then we'll get to the second one. So Stephanie was really instrumental in the vote to get Gonzalez out, and so was Donathan. It was Donathan's target was Gonzalez, and so was Stephanie. So it just panned out like that. And I don't know what like she did to get everyone to do it, but she pulled it off. Her and Donathan, it was pretty impressive.
But what was funny with the tribal council was the fact that Stephanie just gets up right in the middle of it and starts whispering, "I want to make sure we're on the same page." The moment that she gets scared that she might go, and that's exactly what happens. She gets up and she starts going around everybody. She's like, "Who are you voting for?" Everyone lies to her and tells her Donathan. So so that was the first tribal council, and she got completely blindsided.
Hashtag blindsided. Okay, and then second tribal council. I can't believe we missed I can't believe I forgot the first one.
We were too focused on Jacob.
Yeah. God damn it, Jacob.
Because not for nothing, the only thing we know about Gonzalez is like her big highlight was going around to everyone and talking to everybody on the first tribal council and whispering.
Yeah, and that Dave thought she was pretty during our cast analysis.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So Stephanie had a really big impact. She talked to Jacob. She was trying to get like she fished information out of him that the idol was indeed fake. She learned that Jacob willed the legacy advantage to Morgan on the other tribe. So she got a lot of information out of this. And I think she tried a little bit to keep Jacob, but I don't think it worked out like that. The strong guys wanted him gone, and so they ended up splitting the vote. Though Jacob was pretty confident he was staying for whatever goddamn reason. I don't know.
Superpowered superfan. That's what he thought he was.
The vote was what was it? 4-2-1.
Something like that.
Not too bad.
Point is, he went home.
Point is, he went home.
Yep, that didn't surprise me. Like from the very beginning, I was like, once they started talking to him, and I think it was Stephanie or Gonzalez, somebody said, or maybe somebody totally different said that like when Jacob got sent to Ghost Island, well, that sucks because he was pretty much our target.
Yeah.
So that gave him an extra couple days.
I was hoping he could pull it off. Oh well, it is what it is.
Like I said from the get-go, I never had any faith in him.
You'd be surprised. I've watched a lot of Survivor.
Again, this is why I trusted you, because I'm like, you've watched way more Survivor than I have, so I figured that. But at the same time, you know what it was that caught me off guard was in this cast analysis we did. Whenever he said he had to teach himself social skills at an older age, that's what it seemed like. He had to like teach himself how to be social. I was like, that usually doesn't go well.
He's like a NEET.
That's what I mean. Like, it just doesn't go well for people in general. It's like you have to have a lot of social skill already that you need to develop when you're younger to play this game. When you get older, it gets a lot harder to develop social skills at that level, in my opinion.
I thought his social skills were fine. He just overplayed. He looked for idols. He looked for an idol, and he talked too much.
You're right, but I mean, like that's also the social aspect of the game.
That's strategic, not social. Looking for an idol, that's strategic. That's strategic planning.
That's strategic, but you get voted out because whatever. I think
that's not social. Strategic.
There's still social elements that are involved in this.
Okay, but there's a clear division line there.
I get it. It's a mix of the two. Okay, the strategy is social.
Well, everything's a little mix of everything, but that's more strategic than social. He wasn't thinking social when he did the move. He was thinking strategic. But
by saying, "Hey, I'm going to go explore," everyone was like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Jake in the chat says Stephanie's going to win. Maybe. They did show a lot of her in the first episode, or she has a big collapse in like 4 episodes. I can see either one happening.
I could see either one happening. I just hope she doesn't have that collapse within 4 or 5 episodes, and like she's fun because she's already fun to watch, and plus she's smart. She's able to manipulate votes.
And we didn't think much of her during our cast analysis. I mean, she didn't seem
you and I both said like, I mean, I think she was the last person on our cast analysis. We were both already tired, and we were like, yeah, she doesn't excite us. Good night.
I mean, not because she didn't, but
no, she did. And now I'm just like, okay, yeah, I have faith in you as a player. Like, you know what she kind of reminds me of, not personality-wise, but like if she collapses, she's gonna remind me a little bit of Alan, just because we had so much faith in Alan, and then he just fell.
Well, we didn't have faith in Alan game-wise. We had faith in Alan entertainment-wise.
Okay, yeah.
I have faith in Stephanie game-wise. Fair
enough. I can see that.
Yeah. So I'm still rooting for my girl Laurel. Who were your picks again?
My picks were the gym teacher, and until I learned his name, and there was an army vet who was like on the other team.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah, you didn't see her at all this episode.
I think this is gonna be my problem with Survivors. Like, I'm just gonna know them by their occupations or like something about them, and I'll just learn their names later on when they get more important.
Jake says, I guess to our building up Stephanie point, good point. They tend to build up those arcs the way they're portraying her. Yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, there's always a reason for these kind of things. Like the people they're not showing, they could have like the big rise later, but some of them are just going to get picked off.
It's like Ben. Like in the very beginning of the last season with Ben, I didn't think anything of him, and he won. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, I mean, it's smarter to keep those characters in the those characters. Wow, those players in the background.
Rennie Peg says Brendan is gym teacher. I think it
Okay.
said Brendan. I think it's Brendan Shapiro, I think is his name. I
Yeah, I
remember
remember that now.
because he shares like the
Yeah,
last name with Ben Shapiro,
I
who
know that's
he's
how I
like
remember it.
he's like 6 feet tall, and
Because
Ben
you
Shapiro's
were
like
like,
5'2".
that's exactly how I remember it. Because you were like, oh, maybe he's related to Ben Shapiro, and I'm like, I don't think so.
You never know. Maybe if he's Jewish, we'll know for sure. Anyway, let's end it there. I want to thank you guys for watching. We're gonna be doing an episode a week, obviously. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. We know you want to keep up with our updates. I do plan to do a Big Brother Canada 6 cast analysis. I'm not sure when. Hope maybe the weekends. At some point, it will be done. If you support us and everything that we do, and if you love reality television, feel free to check out our Patreon, linked down below. If you donate $3 or more a month, Dave, what do they get?
They get a shout out at the end of every episode, and you can get a shout out too, like we give one to Patty every week, because she is someone who supports us at the $3 or more tier.
That's right, and thank you, Patty, so much for supporting us.
I feel like as I said that, like our Patreon should have just been flashing, like right on the screen.
I mean, it's a live video. We can't do anything about that.
I know.
I'm not post edit, and I can't post edit this. Well, I mean, I could, but okay. Anyway, back to the episode. Love you guys so much.
Donate, like, subscribe.
Yeah, and feel free to share this video on Twitter or on social media. Until next week, or until our Big Brother Canada 6 cast analysis. Peace.